A photograph captures a single moment in time. A smile, a landscape, a family memory that will never happen again. But sometimes, the image hides more than it shows. Some pictures are not just snapshots. They're warnings, frozen fragments of stories drenched in tragedy and horror. Moments taken before something terrible happened. Tonight we're not looking at ordinary photos. These are images with backstories so dark that once you know the truth, you'll never see them the same way again. These are 4 disturbing photos with terrifying backstories. Number 4. April 1986. The worst nuclear disaster in history. When the reactor at Chernobyl's Unit 4 exploded, it released radiation 400 times stronger than Hiroshima. The world knows the images of the firemen, the ruined plant, but there is one photograph rarely seen. A group of men in thick rubber suits and crude masks standing shoulder to shoulder. They look like ghosts. Their names were Alexei Ananenko, Valery Bezpalov, and Boris Baranov, the men who walked straight into the underbelly of hell. After the explosion, a deadly pool of radioactive water had gathered beneath the reactor. If it touched the molten core above, it would trigger a second, far more powerful explosion, one that could have rendered all of Europe uninhabitable. Someone needed to drain the pool manually, and that's what these men volunteered to do. They descended into pitch darkness, chest deep in radioactive water. Their flashlights began to die one by one. They were running out of oxygen. All they had were their Geiger counters, screaming louder with every step. The photo we have of them, taken before their descent, looks almost staged. 5 men in heavy suits turning toward the camera, faces obscured. It's the kind of image you'd see before a suicide mission. And that's exactly what it was. They waded through the water until they found the valve wheel. They opened it, and they saved the world. Days later, their bodies began to fail. Vomiting, skin burns, organ collapse. They were buried in sealed coffins covered in concrete, their remains too radioactive to ever move again. The photo of them still exists, a quiet moment before an unimaginable death. A moment of courage and horror. Number 3. The Greys family photo. At first glance, it looks like the perfect family picture. The Greys. 2 daughters, their mother and their father, smiling while holding small cups, out camping in the Utah wilderness. Sunlight, trees, happiness. But this photograph would become a tombstone. It was taken just hours before the entire family was murdered. In 1982, the Greys had gone on their annual summer camping trip. They set up their tent near a clearing away from other campers, a quiet spot surrounded by pines. That evening, they took a photo together. It would be the last one ever taken of them alive. Later that night, other campers reported hearing strange noises, something like whispering carried by the wind, a flashlight beam flickering through the trees, then silence. By morning, the Greys' campsite was a nightmare. Their tent was torn open. The parents had been attacked first, bludgeoned with a heavy object. The children tried to run. Their bodies were found several meters away, dragged back toward the campsite. No money was taken. No footprints were ever found. But here's the most chilling part. When police developed the family's camera roll, they found one extra photo, a blurred image taken from outside the tent at night. It shows a faint outline, a silhouette watching them as they slept. No one in the family could have taken it. The case remains unsolved, and that cheerful photo, the one they took before going to bed, still circulates online today. A smiling family moments before horror. Number 2. The Amityville Ghost Boy. In 1974, Ronald DeFeo Jr. shot and killed 6 members of his family inside their home in Amityville, New York. A year later, the Lutz family moved into the same house and fled less than a month later, claiming the place was haunted. Among the evidence captured during a later investigation was a single black and white photo, one that still disturbs viewers today. It shows what appears to be a young boy peeking out from a bedroom doorway. Eyes glowing white from the flash, his expression frozen somewhere between curiosity and menace. But according to investigators, there were no children in the house that night. The photo was taken during a 1976 investigation by Ed and Lorraine Warren, the same couple made famous by the Conjuring films. Infrared cameras were set up in the supposedly haunted rooms, triggered automatically. At 3:15 a.m., one of them went off, capturing the figure. Some claim it's the ghost of John DeFeo, the youngest child murdered there. Others believe it's one of the investigators caught by mistake. But those who've examined the photo closely point out strange details. The boy's eyes shine unnaturally. His face seems flat, like a mask, and his height doesn't match any adult in the room. Skeptics have tried to debunk it for decades, but every expert who studied the photo agrees on one thing: there's no clear explanation. It's just one frame, one flash, but it's enough to bring the legend of the Amityville horror back to life. And those who've stood in that hallway since say they feel watched by something still there, waiting in the dark. Number 1. The Dyatlov Pass Photo. February 1959. 9 hikers vanished in the Ural Mountains of Russia under circumstances so bizarre that even today, no one can fully explain it. Their final photograph, the one you're looking at, shows one of them buried head first in the snow, legs sticking out, arms twisted, frozen in place. But that's not where the story begins. Before the tragedy, the group, led by Igor Dyatlov, documented everything. They were experienced, well-trained, laughing, taking pictures of each other along the trail. Their last diary entries describe bright orange orbs in the sky, strange noises at night, and a sense of being watched. When rescuers finally found their camp, it was chaos. The tent was slashed open from the inside. Their clothes were missing, as if they had fled in panic into sub-zero temperatures. Some were barefoot, others had fractured skulls and ribs, without any sign of struggle. One woman's tongue was missing, and that photo, the one of the hiker half buried in snow, was found inside one of their cameras. The film had survived the freezing cold. No one knows who took it, but investigators noticed something strange. The photo seems angled downward, as if the photographer was falling or being pulled. It's the last image ever recorded by the Dyatlov group. Theories range from military experiments to infrasound panic, yet nothing fits perfectly. Even decades later, new expeditions to the site report hearing faint, human-like screams carried by the wind. That picture, that final moment, isn't just a record of death. It's the instant before the unknown swallowed them whole. A photograph can capture joy or terror. But these 4, they captured the instant before something ended, before the laughter stopped, before the flash faded. The divers of Chernobyl, smiling before death. A family's last moment of peace before their campsite became a grave. A boy who shouldn't exist caught in a haunted hallway, and hikers who vanished into the frozen unknown. Each one a window into something humanity still can't fully understand. Next time you take a photo, look at the corners, the shadows, the background. You might not be the only one in the frame.